The science is clear. We have passed a point of no return in the global warming crisis. The trajectory of climate change is irreversible. Despite decades of warnings and attempts to slow it down, the tipping points have been crossed, and our planet is already committed to a new, warmer reality. This is not to say we should give up, but we must understand that stopping climate change altogether is no longer possible. Instead, we must prepare for its consequences and strive to build a greener, more resilient civilization. Scientists have identified critical thresholds, tipping points, beyond which the climate system shifts into a new state, accelerating change beyond human control. We have crossed many of these. The Greenland ice sheet is melting at an unprecedented rate. Once stable for thousands of years, its thaw now contributes to rising sea levels that will eventually inundate coastal cities around the globe. This melting alone is expected to raise global sea levels by several meters over centuries, reshaping entire coastlines. All major coral reefs have experienced mass bleaching events. The Great Barrier Reef, once a vibrant ecosystem, is now largely dead or dying. Without these reefs, entire marine food chains collapse, threatening ocean biodiversity and fisheries that billions depend on. The Arctic sea ice has been shrinking rapidly, with summers nearly ice-free. This not only raises global temperatures by reducing the Earth's reflectivity, but also disrupts weather patterns worldwide. The Amazon rainforest, often called the planet's lungs, is approaching a tipping point where it could transition from dense forest to savanna. This will release vast amounts of carbon stored in trees, further accelerating warming. Permafrost regions in Siberia and northern Canada are thawing, releasing methane, a greenhouse gas far more potent than carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere, causing yet more warming. Tipping points in the Antarctic ice sheets are now underway, with irreversible melting likely to add to sea level rise over coming centuries. We have also seen the destabilization of ocean currents like the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, which regulates climate in Europe and the Americas. Disruption here could bring about drastic regional cooling amidst global warming. Despite enormous efforts over the past 40 years, international agreements, renewable energy growth, reforestation, these steps came too late and were insufficient to stop the momentum we had already set in motion. The planet's climate system has inertia. It responds slowly but relentlessly. Even if all carbon emissions stopped today, the warming would continue for decades. The heat trapped by greenhouse gases already in the atmosphere guarantees sea level rise, more extreme weather, and ongoing ecosystem collapse. This is not to say climate action is useless. Greening our civilization, reducing pollution, conserving natural habitats, transitioning to sustainable energy is essential to improve our quality of life, protect biodiversity, and slow the worst effects where possible. But these actions cannot reverse the fundamental trajectory of global warming. Earth's climate has always been cyclical, shifting between ice ages and warmer interglacial periods over tens of thousands of years. What makes our current crisis unique is the rapid pace of change, an acceleration caused primarily by human activities, especially since the Industrial Revolution. Had humanity acted decisively in the 1970s and 80s, when climate science first sounded the alarm, we might have slowed the cycle, buying time to adapt more gradually. Instead, economic interests and political inertia delayed meaningful action, pushing us past thresholds faster than nature intended. Within the next 50 to 100 years, sea levels are projected to rise by at least 1 meter, inundating major coastal cities like Miami, Shanghai, Mumbai, and many others. Storm surges will become more devastating, forcing millions to abandon their homes. Simultaneously, much of the mid-latitude regions, spanning large parts of the United States, Southern Europe, North Africa, and Central Asia, will turn into uninhabitable deserts due to extreme heat and water scarcity. Agriculture in these areas will collapse, intensifying food shortages and economic crises. As a result, humanity's habitable zones will shift toward the poles. Countries like Canada, Russia, and Antarctica will see new waves of climate refugees seeking refuge in cooler, more stable environments. This mass migration will force massive social, political, and economic changes globally. As populations move northward, new societal balances will emerge. Nations will be forced to reconsider borders, resource allocations, and governance models. Political institutions may transform or collapse under the strain of migration, resource scarcity, and social upheaval. We may see new alliances formed around shared ecological zones rather than traditional nation-states. Technologies like vertical farming, desalination, and renewable energy grids will become essential. On the other hand, tensions over land and resources may increase, sparking conflicts and power struggles. How humanity responds will shape whether our civilization adapts or fragments. The natural world will also undergo profound transformations. Many species unable to adapt or migrate will face extinction. Coral reefs, rainforests, and Arctic ecosystems will be lost, reducing biodiversity drastically. Animals will be forced to migrate, adapt, or perish. Ecosystem collapse will disrupt food webs, with consequences for human food security as well. While we cannot reverse global warming's course, we can still shape the future. By embracing green technologies, conserving ecosystems, and adopting sustainable lifestyles, we honor our planet and the life it sustains. Our goal now is resilience, building communities and systems that endure. Though climate change is unstoppable, our response can foster hope, cooperation, and a healthier environment for generations to come. As the climate shifts, so must we. It is not the end of humanity, but the start of a new chapter. One where respect for Earth's limits guides our way forward.